Good morning. I'm WaywornWyrm, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to the first Friday video that updates on the progress of the channel since the rebranding 2 weeks ago. I've got 4 or 5 things that I want to go over, so let's jump into it. The first thing I want to talk about today is the lack of a video on last Friday. And that just comes down to I couldn't do it. I got sick on Friday morning when I was going to write the video Friday afternoon. I try and wait as long as possible so I can get as much of the full week as I can. Just where I work and where my wife works, we are exposed to germs with ridiculously high frequency. And so one or both of us get sick every couple of weeks. Now, luckily, it's usually what it was last week for me, where I was kind of sick for a day, I was really sick on Friday, and what I mean by really sick is I was blowing my nose like every 20 or 30 seconds for about an hour or two. It was crazy. But then by Saturday, I was mostly better, and Sunday, I was completely better, and that's when I remembered I'd forgotten a video on Friday. So that's just sort of that, and it sucks. But that's why we didn't have a video last Friday. So the next thing I want to talk about is the best thing to talk about, and that is what has happened with this channel since I did the rebranding or relaunch, whatever we end up deciding to call it. And in those 2 weeks, we have gained 6 subscribers and then lost one. I assume the one was one of the new ones. I don't know. But we're sitting at 25 subscribers, and that's awesome. I love it. Thank you guys. We are starting to build a viable channel here, and that makes me so incredibly happy. The other thing that's happened is I have had almost 400 views, and that just blows my mind. When I rebranded the channel, we were sitting at officially, I think it was 1,100 and some. We're now at 1,553 as of Wednesday, and I am recording this on Wednesday morning because Thanksgiving is on Thursday and craziness is on Friday. So Wednesday's the best day to do this. There are 2 comments by one of our subscribers that I really want to talk about that have been posted in the last 2 weeks. In fact, both of these were posted this past Monday. The first one is on the introduction to the Art of War, which was the 3rd video uploaded on this channel, maybe 4th. And both comments are by Hero Psycho Dream. And the first comment was pointing out that there's a lot of audio jumping around at about the 2-minute mark, and the question was, is that just choppy editing, or was it intentional? It was not intentional. It's bad editing. I wish I could say something, but no, it's bad editing. And then the second comment left on the Art of War Part 1 is there are a lot of takeaways from this for the United States' current geopolitical situation. Protracted war? Check. Putting resources abroad to support it? Check. Raising prices there and making peasants even poorer? Check. I suppose that's why you're doing this reading. I would love to say, yes, I made that conscious decision to do that because of those wonderful reasons. But that'd be a lie. Um, I'm sure unconsciously that fed into it. I think it's really hard for people, especially younger people like myself, to not have internalized a lot of the current U.S. geopolitical situation, considering we are in arguably year 16 of the conflict in Afghanistan. Um, yeah, it started way back in 2001. It's now we're about to say goodbye to 2017 in just over a month. It's been a good chunk of my life that we've been dealing with that. So maybe I've internalized some of that, and that's part of the reason why I think the art of war is really relevant today. Um, but no, there's no conscious decision on my part. You are definitely reading in things that weren't there. I appreciate it though. You make me look smart, which is always nice. So those are the two big comments. There were two others by another subscriber, but they're I don't want to shit on my subscribers because I really, really do appreciate all of you. I really enjoy the fact that you come and you watch my stuff. And if it weren't for you, this. I have hope that my channel will do awesome things, and I have a lot of reason to hope, and that reason is because of the 25 of you who have subscribed and the almost 1,600 views that I have gained since April of this year. And I really appreciate that. And again, I don't want to shit on you guys, but yeah, that that's really all I'm going to say about that. Yeah, this section is the hardest for me to record today. It's the last big thing I want to talk about. Possibly the biggest thing I talk about here. And it's difficult for me to well articulate what I'm trying to get at in the way that I want to get at it. So here I am trying again. I've been working on this segment alone for almost 20 minutes. It's crazy. But I'm addressing yesterday's video change and announcing that the Freedom Ledger and the Daily Herald are on temporary hiatus. And there's really three reasons for that. And the first one is I need to be very conscious of the amount of time that I put into a video versus how much interaction I get out of it. And interactions being, again, views, length of time viewed, comments, likes, dislikes, shares, subscriptions. Anytime you interact with my video, yeah. Um, and part of the reason why there are really two reasons why I have to be really super hyper aware of that. Reason number one is I'm treating this as a business, and so it just makes sense. And reason number two is I have limited time. I generally can take an hour or two per day, 5 days a week, and then on one day of the weekend, I can generally take like 4 or 5 hours. And that's the amount of time I have per week to make my videos. That includes writing them, editing the subscription, playing through. If it's a role playing game, playing through the role playing game to get the rating, and then it's recording these videos and editing them. Um, and there's a lot that goes into it. Basically, the best two types of videos for the interaction to time spent are live streams and these weekly updates. If that's all that mattered to me, this time in to interaction out, that's all you would see. Because the live streams take however long the live stream is, plus a few minutes. And these upload videos generally take a similar amount of time, and those are my two most watched series. And so though those are definitely something that's safe and can easily continue. Um, there have been two series that have failed my minimum bar. And my minimum bar is kind of subjective, but oh well. A Brave New Galaxy, which is on hiatus, and then these newspaper series. And the reason is, for A Brave New Galaxy, it was taking me about 6 times as long to make for about 3 times the interaction. So my time could be better spent making several other videos because I would end up with a net twice the amount of engagement if I made 6 of the other videos rather than the one Brave New Galaxy video. And these newspapers are even worse. They're taking me about 4 times as long, and they're getting on the low side of views. So they're taking a lot longer for no benefit, and it's not performing well. It will be back in the future. There are some wonderful stories that I have planned, but not now. And part of the reason why it's taking me so long is because the format I was using, um, it wasn't really designed for the way I use it, but it's one of the better formats I can do. Um, so I can easily section out the stories to set lengths. And the other reason why it's really hard, especially to make the second one, is it turns out the first full week of April 2010 was a shitty fucking week. Um, in West Virginia, there was a explosion in a mine that killed 24 miners. Um, and the company that owned the mine had ridiculously huge amount of safety infractions, both company wide and for that mine. Um, they're the highest level of safety violation. The kind that is generally means you're being willfully ignorant. Their number of those infractions were 8 times the national average at the time. In fact, that company was bought out by someone else a year later, and yeah, um, like there were searches for 2 days for four of the remaining miners, and on the last day of the search, they were found right near the entrance. There was just so much poisonous gas that was obscuring vision that rescuers walked past their bodies. And I was writing a newspaper article about that. And then, right around the same time in Mexico, there was a busload of children. I think the youngest one was like 5, and the oldest one was 16 or 17. Um, There's like 20 of them that were shot and killed. And that happened in April 2010. We are now nearing the end of November 2017. We still have no idea who did it. We have no idea who murdered those children or why. It's assumed that it was done because of drug runners, but no one knows. And by this point, since there's been no new leads in 7 years, there probably won't ever be. And later on in March or April 2010, Deepwater Horizons, that oil well explodes, and April 2010 was just a shitty month, and I forgot how bad that was. Um, and it just part of realistically portraying newspapers and how they have to sort of lean towards sensationalist news um, to try and keep up their circulation and write things that sort of follow that statement or that point. That was kind of putting me in a place that I didn't really want to be. Um, so yeah, just that's why the Freedom Ledger and the Daily Herald are going on hiatus for a bit, because their their interaction to time put in isn't very good. The format I was using was janky as shit, and April 2010 kind of putting me in a dark place, or if not a dark place, a place that I didn't really want to be in. Because it was sad. Um, it's sad thinking about those children who were murdered, probably because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Um, Sad to think about those miners who died because the owner of their company wanted to cut corners so he could save cost. Yeah, that's just sort of the long and short of it. And I don't really know how to end this segment, so let's go on to the next segment, shall we? So, next segment, let's kind of get a pickup after that last downer, shall we? So we're at 1,543 views and 25 subscribers. Let's try and push that higher. Let's hit 10,000 views. That'd be a wonderful Christmas present if in the next month we could hit that. Don't worry, I don't expect to, but it'd be great if we did. Let's try and hit it early next year. And then let's hit 100 subscribers. So how can you help? You know, there are 25 of you. How can you help me get to those two goals? Well, view my videos. Um, Watch the whole thing. Comment, like, well, you're already subscribed. Share the video with anyone who you think would like my stuff. Get them to subscribe. Share this far and wide. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, anywhere. If you have subscribers, which some of my people do, and you like the video, that will show up on your page. And if your subscribers are looking through your page, they'll see a playlist called liked videos, and they can watch that. Just let's try and get my stuff out to as many people as possible, and let's push 100,000 views, or no, 10,000 views and 100 subscribers. We can do it. In 2 weeks, we have managed to average about 150 views a week. So, at this rate, next year we'll have the 10,000 views. Let's hope it's not linear, though. Let's hope we're on an exponential growth curve. Either way, I hope everyone in America had a happy Thanksgiving. And tune in Monday for more live streams. Thank you.